32 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, back in.
Aloha, welcome back to my channel. Booty here, collecting Blue Eyes White Dragons and other rare cards. Today we have a package from the lovely Honolulu, Hawaii. Let's see what we got. Got this package from eBay. It's been sitting in my room for about a month now, so super excited to finally open it up. Alright, front or back, front or back, front or back. That looks like the front. So this must be the back, yep. Okay, just one card today, so it should be extra special. Alright, we got the white sleeve out of the sleeve. Carefully. Ooh, immediately, just notice that punched in saturated back. Top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Overall condition looks pretty decent. I noticed like a print line going down the middle, but yeah, this is definitely one of the better backs I've seen, especially when it comes to harder to find cards. I think there's some surface wear on the top, but overall you can see the texture really shine through, so you can kind of already tell the age of this card. Okay, open to Blue Eyes. Ooh, wow. Oh my god. Holy crap. Jeez. Have you seen anything like that? Wow, this card looks absolutely amazing in person. I'm speechless. I'm gonna have to pull a normal Blue Eyes to compare. Look at this faded card. Okay, so what we have here is a Blue Eyes White Dragon Unlimited SDK 001 Silver Eye of Anubis. And as you can see, the coloring is just so faded on this card. Centering's pretty good on this card. And corners are looking pretty good too. Yeah, overall, moderately played, decent condition, but the coloring is just, it immediately strikes you. So I'm opening the floodgates if I'm going to be talking about faded cards. And I'm no expert, but from my research and from what I've read on MTG post, Yu-Gi-Oh post, and even some Pokemon post, ultimately when you print a card, you know, you're testing it with colors with blue, pink, yellow, or black, or ultimately how they call it, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. I gotta double check on these two colors. This card has all these colors, but there's something with the magenta, how it is the least resilient to stick on the paper, and over time it can fade, ultimately making a faded card. I don't want to give any false information or wrong information out, but that's just from what I've read. And ultimately, when that magenta is gradually lost or just fades away, you have a card that ends up like this. It comes off a much yellower, and the coloring is just so off. I'm gonna pick out a normal Blue Eyes card so we can compare. Let's see, which one should I pick? Definitely a normal one from SDK would be good. This one looks pretty good. So here we have two Blue Eyes White Dragons from SDK. So I'm getting the best closest match to this card on the left. Ultimately, this is what a normal card looks like. You know, all the colors are there. I feel like it's very balanced in terms of color. It's not too bright, it's not too dark. Yeah, this is what a standard Yu-Gi-Oh card looks like, especially from the SDK era. And then this card on the left, which I just picked up, is just so much more faded. It's just so much more yellow. It's important to not mix this up with sun bleach cards, because those are ultimately altered and those are not real. Well, they're real, but they're manufactured, or they're altered, and they're made to look that way. So I saw another great YouTuber by the name of Schlost, or Schost, I think. I really butchered that. He did a great informative video on faded cards and sun bleach cards, so I would definitely check that out from his research. If you just leave any card out, like a Blue Eyes or just any Yu-Gi-Oh card in general, and this might apply to MTG cards as well. No, you know what? I'm only going to speak in the world of Yu-Gi-Oh. So if you leave any Yu-Gi-Oh card out and let it soak in the sun by like a windowsill or just outside on a porch or something, it'll gradually lose the magenta, so it'll ultimately be bleached out, so it'll look much whiter. And if you look through a loop, if you look closer to the actual like details of the card, you'll see that all those colors are lost, which ultimately makes it look much whiter. A naturally faded card, which is what we have here, it will only apply to the magenta. So the black, yellow, and cyan are still intact, but the natural properties of the magenta will ultimately fade, and you'll have a card like this. And this is a bit off on a tangent, but I love how if you look closely in the text, you can kind of see horizontal print lines as well in the holo foil. Yeah, I think you can catch it right there around the blue and the eyes. Yeah, it's a beautiful detail that you can see in the older cards. This card is really cool. I'm glad to have such a super faded card. Even if you go through your old collection and you look through your commons or something, you'll probably find all the colored cards. Some are much darker, some are much lighter. But this is a prime example of a true faded card that wasn't, you know, made to look this way. It was just natural. As you can see here too, the backs of the card look almost identical. This one's a bit darker in orange. And if I flip them again, yeah, the fronts are totally different. If anyone knows more about faded cards, please comment below. I would love to hear about it and actually get my facts straight. Similar to glossy and wavy, there's definitely a market for faded cards. There's an awesome Instagram that I found recently called YUGIOH Faded, I believe. I would check that page out if you definitely want to see older faded cards, and because they look really awesome, because they just don't make them like this anymore. I can't imagine modern cards being faded because the printing techniques and just technology is advanced to some degree. So these faded cards are definitely product of the era that can't be really copied. I picked this up for about $77 on eBay. Yeah, I'm really happy I won the auction on that. The seller made it clear that this was a faded card, so they knew what he had. I bid sniped it, $77, was super happy I won. I think I have like a winning video on it too, so I'll show that if I have it. The market for these is definitely growing. Vintage cards, especially in the LOB, STK, Metal Raiders era, it's definitely hard to find. I've seen a lot of Metal Raiders faded cards actually. But yeah, back to the market prices for these. I think I got a really good steal for this, $77, but I've seen them go from about 100 to 250 USD, so it definitely grows. I think I even plugged in 250 as my highest offer for this, but luckily eBay has that max bid option, and they do the auto bid or something, and then it only bids by the increment. So again, happy I've only paid $77 for this as opposed to, you know, $100 or $200. I think as time goes by, people are gonna realize the niche markets for glossy, wavy, and faded much more. So yeah, it's really interesting because these cards are just so rare and low in quantity, and they just pop up here and there. So if you find any faded cards, I would definitely pick it up because they just don't make it like this anymore. How I project faded cards to grow, I think it's going to be honestly very similar to how wavy is. Wavy is still a little more expensive since that card stock was such a product of its time and made in such low quantities. As for faded, no one's really keeping a counter or tracking how many faded cards there are. There are a bunch out there, but to find it in a card you'd like, especially if in a Blue Eyes White Dragon form, definitely really happy to find. But if a Blue Eyes White Dragon first edition SDK faded does pop up in the market, I'll definitely be eyeing it. Yeah, having this faded Blue Eyes spinning right here, it's kind of hard to see the full effects of the faded card itself, especially if it's in a top loader and it's sleeved up. But yeah, I guarantee you if you look closer, you will find that it's very special. Anyways, if you guys like Blue Eyes White Dragons and other rare cards, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.